What a beautiful night. What a beautiful night for a graduation. And we do appreciate the enthusiasm. But if you could please stay standing, as our president for the class of 2013, Benjamin Russo, is going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing as Kayla Mastracchio, a member of the class of 2013, will now sing our national anthem.
Early light, what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Good evening. You know, as much as you could plan all day long, all week long, that's what happens right as we start our graduation ceremony. My name is Brian Falcone, and I'm the principal at Terryville High School. This evening, I welcome you to the graduation exercise of the class of 2013. This evening, we extend a warm welcome to our Superintendent of Schools, Ms. Eleanor Cruz, our Mayor, Mr. Vincent Festa Jr., our Chief of Police, Ms. Karen Krasicki, and our keynote speaker for this evening's event, Mr. Sean Link. I would like to next introduce our Board of Education. They volunteer countless numbers of their own hours for the good of your children. Sitting at the other end, I have 4 board members. I have Mr. Patrick Perugino, who's our chairman of the board. I have Mr. Mark Berube, Mr. Jerry Bobinier, and Mr. Anthony Orsini. Thank you so much for all of your support, dedication, and hard work. I would also like to recognize all of the board members that couldn't make our ceremony this evening. They are Daniel Gentile, Daniel Santorso, Martin Wetzel, Raymond Engel, and Miss Karen Kolesa. Thank you so much. In addition, I'd like to welcome Miss Amy Racky, our assistant principal, my fellow administrators, the faculty of Terryville High School, parents, family members, and special guests. This evening, 103 members of our senior class will be receiving their diploma from Terryville High School. This diploma signifies that they have fully met the requirements set forth by the Plymouth Board of Education in the state of Connecticut. It also represents the culmination of 4 years of studying and participation in athletics, activities, and community service. But as everyone who has gone to high school before knows, high school is more than the requirements. Throughout the past 4 years, our seniors have developed bonds and friendships with our faculty and staff and their peers, which will remain strong for the rest of their lives. They have also begun to distinguish themselves in various areas inside and outside of the classroom. And this is truly my favorite part of the speech every year. I share the accomplishments of the group sitting in front of you. So for the next few minutes, you'll hear me bragging about your children. In the realm of academics, we have 31 seniors sitting on stage that have graduated with an average greater than 90. We have 12 that have graduated We have 12 that have graduated with an average over 95. And we have 1 senior this year that graduated due to the weighting of classes with an average over 100. We really do have an amazing community here. And that community and local and statewide businesses have awarded over $230,000 in one-time and renewable scholarships to various members of this senior class. We have 14 members of the National Honor Society on stage. We have 2 seniors who have enlisted in the Marines. One senior has enlisted in the Navy. And 1 senior has enlisted in the National Guard. "36 students sitting in front of you have graduated tonight with over 3 college credits they've received at Terryville High School. 34 students have scored in the goal or advanced area on all areas of the CAP test. 20 students on stage have completed over 100 hours of community service in 4 years. Six of those students have completed over 500 hours. Four of those students have completed over 750 hours. And 2 of our students have completed over 1,000 hours of community service. In sports, the boys soccer team won the Berkshire League Ted Alex Sportsmanship Award. We won the Berkshire League Championship for the 4th consecutive year in girls volleyball. We also won the Berkshire League Championship in wrestling and in softball. Our girls volleyball team went to the state semifinals, while our girls softball team competed in the Class S state tournament finals. We had 2 Berkshire League All-Star seniors in volleyball, 3 in wrestling, and 1 in baseball. Your hands are really going to be hurting, but I absolutely love it. We had 3 Berkshire League Scholar athletes and 2 Connecticut State Scholar athletes. We had 1 student make All-State in volleyball and 1 student make All-State in softball. And finally, we found out yesterday that one of our Terryville High School seniors was named Bristol Press Athlete of the Year, and that was Jamie Bridge. In performing in fine arts, the music department in our drama club helped set us up and set us different than all of the other schools in the state due to the number of people that participate, the outstanding talent, and their achievements. 25% of our seniors this evening participated in the drama club. They have put on numerous performances throughout their 4 years at Terryville High School, including our 2 shows this year, The Christmas Express and Annie. In music, our music program includes 30% of this year's senior class, and 18 of those seniors were selected to the elite Berkshire League Music Festival. Over the past 4 years, the seniors in our music program have performed in dozens of exciting destinations, including Boston, Virginia Beach, Ocean City, Maryland, New Haven, Connecticut, and they even marched down Fifth Avenue in New York City in front of 1 million spectators. Our graduating chorus students can leave knowing that they were only one of 2 schools to win the Platinum Award at the North American Music Festival, and our band leaves a lasting legacy knowing that they received awards in the Best High School Marching Band category at the New Haven St. Patrick's Day Parade 2 years in a row. For each of these accomplishments, and those not mentioned, we could not be more proud of how this senior class represented our town and our school. To the class of 2013, believe it or not, the next phase in your life begins in about 45 minutes. I know it may not feel like this, but each and every one of you has the world at your fingertips. From tonight on, opportunities in your life will either shrink or expand based on the confidence you have in yourself. The confidence to take risks, to face your fears, to follow the right path. The confidence to accept responsibility for your actions and to not be confined or constrained by others. In the words of Ralph Waldo Emerson, an American poet from the 1800s, what lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. Over the past 4 years, you've grown physically, intellectually, and emotionally, and you're now ready to begin your adult lives. In stepping into the real world, some of you have already decided on a career path, while others are just beginning your journey. No matter where you are in the process, remember to continue to work as hard as you can to achieve your goals and never settle for average. Don't think for a second that you can't achieve greatness in your life. Think big, dream big, and work hard. I was contemplating up until about 2 o'clock this afternoon, because I've worked with this grade for 6 years of my life. And that's 1,080 school days that I've worked with this class. And over that time, I've been able to observe and be part of the transformation. A transformation from a middle school student to a high school student to the adults that are walking out of our auditorium tonight. Watching you grow as a group and individually over the years, I can honestly say I could not be more proud of how you've all matured into such amazing, respectful, and truly good people. While I'd love to give you all the credit, a significant amount of the credit must go to the guidance you received along the way, which has played a big part in how you've changed over the years. Your parents, family members, teachers, and this community should be commended for how much you truly care about our students. They are the ones that have had the difficult conversations, that have watched over you when you thought you knew best, and supported you through all the highs and lows of your youth. They have been a major part of your transformation. So I know I've given you a lot of advice, and I know you've not listened to a lot of my advice. But please take this last word of advice from me. Before you leave school grounds this evening, take a second and thank the people who have impacted your life, who have made a difference, who have contributed to transforming you into who you are today. Class of 2013, it's been a privilege and an honor being your principal. You're the pride and joy of Terryville High School. Go from here and give the world your absolute best. On the behalf of the faculty and administration of Terryville High School, congratulations and best wishes for the future. Thank you. Next, I have the distinct privilege to introduce the Honorable Vincent Festa, Jr., Mayor of Plymouth.
Good evening and welcome. I'd like to preface my remarks by thanking each and every one of you out in the audience for the support, guidance, direction that you've given this remarkable group of young ladies and gentlemen before us tonight. Thank you for the job well done. Graduation is an emotional time and yet a joyful time. As a retired teacher and principal, I know all too well the emotions that fill the spirit of each and every student and staff member at this particular time of the school year. As educators, staff spends countless hours with your children, the most prized possession of every parent. The staff looks upon their children and their students as second family. Likewise, students build a strong bond between themselves and their teachers. In many cases, this bond lasts a lifetime. Parents become an integral part of this relationship as well. Tonight here at Terryville High School, the mood is no different. There are stoic smiles, nervous laughter, and yes, tears of joy. This is a moment in time in which we reflect upon the accomplishments of each and every young man and young lady of this graduating class. It is a time to celebrate what has been achieved, but also a time to reflect upon what needs to be attained during the next journey they embark upon. To this end, parents and educators ask themselves whether or not they've met their parental obligations or their professional challenges of the classroom. I believe that the answer is yes. The answer is yes to this question because there is evidence by which we see seated before you on this very stage tonight a remarkable group of young ladies and gentlemen. These young women and young men have met the establishments and the criteria of the state and local requirements to which they assure themselves of a diploma tonight. What lies ahead of them is their destiny. What they do with the knowledge and experiences they have gained can only be determined by their perseverance, their fortitude, and the level of their achievement and ambition. My message to these fine young people is one of perseverance and persistency. To each and every one of you, I say, hold steadfast to your dreams, to your wishes, and to your goals. Whether in good times or not so good times, call upon your inner strength to see you through. Your trials and tribulations will be brief and few in number. Continue to believe in yourself and never forget to be grateful for what you possess in life. Most importantly, as you approach your new journeys, be mindful of what you leave behind. Embrace those who protected you, nourished you, supported your very dream. Honor and respect those that love you. Never be too shy or embarrassed to demonstrate the bond between parent and child. Embrace your family, your friends, your teachers. Remember all that they've done for you, and in return, all that is asked of you is that you do for two people what has been done for you. Go forward tonight in a new light, with a new vision of what you are to become. Be an inspiration to yourself, yet be willing to inspire others. Be at peace with yourself, yet help others to find their own peace. Be productive citizens. Give back to the people in the community that has given to you. On behalf of the citizens of the town of Plymouth, I offer this congratulatory message in celebrating your accomplishments. Go forward in love and good wishes that all of us extend to each of you this evening. Go forward in the light of the Heavenly Father, Be forever blessed. Go forward and make something of yourselves. Your world is waiting for good things that you've yet to accomplish. Go forward with pride in yourself. Know that your community is proud of each and every one of you. May God bless you and your family, and may He keep you close in each and every new endeavor you may encounter. My personal congratulations. God bless you.
Now, the essayist address will be given by Angel Katowitz.
Parents, friends, families, faculty and staff, and the class of 2013. Welcome and good evening. Before I begin, for those who are not aware, Mr. Falcone has followed my grade and I throughout our educational endeavors. Since 4th grade, he has been by our sides, and even though he likes to portray himself as the tough principal, I would like to thank him for the love he holds for us in his heart. Now, I know that not everyone here tonight came to hear me speak about myself, but the next 284 words are what matter most to me, because without my family, I would be nothing. Jesse and Polly, my 2 favorite cousins, but really the 2 brothers I was never blessed with. Thank you for accepting Aaron and I with open arms, and for always defending us, loving us, and let's face it, torturing us into tears of sadness, but also of immense joy and fun. I would like to thank my aunt and uncle for literally saving my life. You guys were there for us when nobody else was, and I can't even put into words how grateful I am to have both of you in my life. Even though it hasn't been easy raising 4 kids, you never once treated us like we were any different than your own, and I am truly honored to stand up here and say that I was raised by the 2 greatest, craziest, and loving parents around. Finally, my Shangi, Ariana, my number 1, my hero, my world, my entire life. You have been my best friend since I was 3 years old, and without you, I would have never survived. I can count on you for anything and everything, and the bond that we share is one of the most intense, loving, and all-around special relationships anyone can imagine. Thank you for picking me up on my worst days, making me laugh until I can't breathe, understanding every aspect about me, and never letting me forget who I am and what I deserve. I love you forever and ever. Today is a day that will no doubt be remembered for the rest of our lives. As we sit up here on this stage for the last time of our high school careers, I ask you to ponder one question. Are you satisfied with the person you have become? But before you answer, think. I mean, really think. Over the past 4 years, we have grown, both physically and intellectually, matured, and experienced our fair share of heartbreaks and letdowns. The trials and tribulations faced day in and day out not only shaped our personality and character, but also taught us that not everything in life is a walk in the park. The individual circumstances thrust upon each of us as we attempted to navigate ourselves through these pivotal but more than confusing years have at times proved too much for us to handle. So for all the seniors sitting behind me tonight, congratulations on a job well done. You see, we are who we are for a lot of reasons. Whether those reasons are positive or negative, they have impacted us in a way that may never be understood by anyone but ourselves. But that's what is so great about life, the fact that as long as you believe in yourself and your abilities, no one on this planet has the power to tell you otherwise. As the great Woody Hayes said, in football, we always said that the other team couldn't beat us. We had to make sure that we didn't beat ourselves. And that's what people have to do too, make sure they don't beat themselves. At any time, anyone can succumb to the external forces working against them. Does anyone remember those first years of school? Instead of fun childhood memories, I remember my first years of school plagued with sadness and anger because I could never understand why. Why, as a 5-year-old little girl, did I have to lose my hero, my beautiful mother, Linda, to a disease that she nor anyone else deserves to have? Why, when she was gone, did my sister and I have to endure the chaos that came along with my father's drug abuse and depression before we were old enough to understand what was happening? And why, by the age of 12, did I no longer have either of my parents alive to watch me grow up? But if that doesn't sound terrible enough, why not torment my mind with the idea of my savior, the kindest, most caring, wonderful woman in the world, being diagnosed with a disease that had already claimed the life of my mom. It's like life dealt me the short end of the stick and then continued on as my stick became shorter and shorter. But I am not the only person sitting here tonight who has gone through hard times. There are many people behind me who lost a parent, who battled through darker days than you or I can imagine, or who looked to their friends for shelter and support during difficult situations. The students you see here tonight became a family that can be counted on no matter the conditions. And when you look around, you will realize we are all here for you. You will realize you are not alone. From the novel, The Perks of Being a Wallflower, even if we don't have the power to choose where we come from, we can still choose where we go from there. So I have chosen to fight on and to use my experience as a motivation to impact the lives of others like myself in the most positive way I know how. I will pursue a career as a pediatric oncologist to aid in the fight of that same disease that has caused so much turmoil in my life. I hope you all choose to use your experiences in a way that will benefit more than just your immediate surroundings. As goofy as Mr. Nave acts at times, he taught us countless important lessons to be remembered for our future. One of those lessons, the last lesson he decided to share with us, shrunk each of our egos down to nothing, but then immediately rekindled our individual self-opinions. Close your eyes. Imagine yourself sitting in this room. Can you see it? Now imagine looking down on this T-shaped school, yourself sitting in this room. Go back up. Imagine looking down on the town of Terryville, on this T-shaped school, yourself sitting in this room. Back up again. Imagine looking down on the state of Connecticut, on the town of Terryville, this T-shaped school, yourself sitting in this room. Repeat. Look down upon the country, the state of Connecticut, the town of Terryville, this T-shaped school, yourself sitting in this room. Repeat again. Look down upon the world, the country, the state of Connecticut, the town of Terryville, this T-shaped school, yourself sitting in this room. Picture yourself in outer space. Imagine looking at our galaxy, at the world, the United States of America, the state of Connecticut, the town of Terryville, this T-shaped school, yourself sitting in this room. And one final time, go back up to the outermost edges of our universe. Picture yourself looking at the millions of galaxies out there, at our galaxy, at the world, the United States of America, the state of Connecticut, the town of Terryville, this T-shaped school, yourself sitting in this room. Now open your eyes. How do you feel? You feel small, don't you? Like a tiny speck in the midst of a very large existence. You feel like nothing. But think about this. You are everything. Because everywhere you've ever been, everything you've ever done, anyone you've ever met, would be tremendously different if you had not been there, done that, met them. You are nothing, but you are everything. So to the class of 2013, the kids I have spent the majority of my life with, I would like to leave you with one final message from the iconic Steve Jobs. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. Tomorrow is too often a replica of today, but this time is ours. And even though we are leaving this auditorium as adults, don't forget to make the most of every minute with which you are blessed. Do not settle for anything less than your absolute best. True character shines through during the most difficult situations, not those easily accomplished. Take the bad with the good and grow from it, because at the end of the day, you will not remember all the times you fail, but rather how you choose to deal with those failures. Congratulations and good luck to my fellow classmates, my family, on however you choose to live your lives from this point on. Life is what you make it, so make it count. I would now like to introduce the Salutatorian, Caitlin Sikorsky.
That was beautiful, Angel. Faculty members, administration, Board of Education members, distinguished guests, parents, and fellow graduates. It is an honor to stand before you and represent the class of 2013 as Salutatorian. Although I have always dreamt of this moment, I never really considered how difficult writing this speech would be. I realized that it is impossible to sum up 13 years of adventures, laughs, tears, and friendships. The memories are far too numerous to mention as they flood my mind tonight. However, I will never forget all the amazing times. From exercising to the Addams Family theme song with Miss Casper at Prospect Street School, to all the crazy recesses filled with tag and the new playscape at Main Street School, to finally uniting with the more popular kids from Plymouth Center School for the first time at Nature's Classroom. The list goes on and on. Middle school only brought more amazing moments, culminating with the greatest trip ever to Washington, D.C. I will forever think of this class when I hear the song, Don't Stop Believing. And I remember singing it at the top of our lungs on almost every bus ride. Then we became freshmen at Terryville High School, overwhelmed with all the homework, but experiencing more freedoms and opportunities than ever before. And even though we were always very close, we never became exclusive. Each time a new student would transfer into the school, we opened our arms, welcoming each new addition as if they had been with us since elementary school. This, I believe, is one of the benefits found in attending a small school. Although it may seem at times a little too small, I believe that we will always be grateful, as it has provided us with the opportunity to create meaningful relationships with staff and students. My fellow graduates, I hope you will always appreciate being a part of a class of only 100 or so students. Be proud of the fact that you know each and every one of your classmates' names. In the future, when someone asks where you went to high school, hold your head high, state loud and proud, Terryville High School in Terryville, Connecticut. Give this school and yourself the recognition that is certainly deserved. Today's date, Friday, June 21st, 2013. For me, this date will always be remembered. For some, the significance of this day may fade. Maybe graduation only symbolizes the long anticipated culmination of your high school years. However, I encourage you to think of this accomplishment in another way. It is my hope that you remember this date as the day you begin to discover yourselves, the day you allow yourself to open your eyes and begin putting action to your thoughts and dreams in all you decide to pursue. I think Pulitzer and Nobel Prize-winning author Toni Morrison says it best. Your life is already a miracle of chance waiting for you to shape its destiny. Your life is already artful, just waiting for you to make it art. I love this quote because it recognizes the many abilities and vast potential we already have within ourselves. Because you see, from this moment on, we take our learning, strengths, and accomplishments of these last many years and start anew. We have the unique opportunity to create a life that is now filled with so many possibilities for success. Therefore, upon graduation, we become the sole caretakers of what we will define as success. It is now our time to define our lives. In closing, we must remember that we did not get to this stage on our own. We have so many people to thank, including friends and family, and a community that supports education. To all the teachers and staff, thank you for helping to shape us into the adults you see before you. We will continue to synthesize and evaluate. The mission statement is engraved in our minds forever. And if you would allow me a moment, I would like to personally thank Ms. Ayudi and Ms. Basil for all the support they tirelessly give to the students of THS through your advocacy and through the internships you provide. And Mr. Falcone, despite your strict policies, which I imagine when we look back won't seem so strict, we do appreciate your dedication and the guidance given to us over the past 8 years. It is very unique for students to be able to climb the academic ladder with the same administrator. You are our vice principal in elementary and middle school and our principal in high school. I hope you enjoyed the journey as much as we did. I would also like to thank Mr. Nave for all his help in preparation for tonight. And finally, I would like to thank the class of 2013 for making our years together so enjoyable and memorable. My wish for you is very simple. I wish for you to be proud of the life you create. I love you all. Thank you very much, and congratulations. And now it is my privilege to introduce the valedictorian of the class of 2013, Peter Hopko.
Dear fellow students of the Terryville High School class of 2013, dedicated teachers, administration, and staff of Terryville High School, members of the Board of Education, community leaders, parents, guardians, grandparents, other family members, and friends, welcome to our commencement ceremonies. I would like to begin my speech by thanking all of you for the invaluable contributions that you have made to the lives of all those graduating this evening. Your support and influence has molded us into the individuals we are today. Thank you, and God bless you all. The Terryville High School class of 2013 has so much to be grateful for. For instance, around 18 years ago, we all had the incredible privilege to merely be born. In the words of Anglo-American author Bill Bryson, by the most astounding stroke of luck, an infinitesimal portion of all the matter in the universe came together to create you, and for the tiniest moment in the great span of eternity, you have the incomparable privilege to exist. For endless eons, there was no you. Before you know it, you will cease to be again. And in between, you have this wonderful opportunity. This thing's been bugging me all night. Anyway, and in between, you have this wonderful opportunity to see and feel and think and do. Whatever else you do with your life, nothing will remotely compare with the incredible accomplishment of having managed to get yourself born. Congratulations, well done, you really are special. It's good. It's a good sort of special. Secondly, we're young, and most of us have the grand majority of our lives ahead of us. And thirdly, every last one of us is really, really ridiculously good looking. Not only are we lucky enough to be alive and young, we are lucky enough to have grown up in a time and place indescribably more safe and prosperous than so many places in the world today, and especially throughout history, that place being, of course, Terryville, Connecticut. That is a place where not only our parents, but the entire community seems dedicated to promoting our well-being. Whether it's Little League Baseball, or the $230,000 worth of scholarships given out at Scholarship Night, or building a brand new modern high school, Terryville truly gives an incredible amount of care and opportunities to its young people. It isn't just the institutions, it's the individuals who have dedicated themselves to us. I experienced this recently when an old lady I knew sent me a graduation card a week after she had died. It's a true story. Clearly, young people and their success are always on the minds of the people of Terryville. It's pretty clear that the young adults who will graduate tonight are generally fortunate. I believe that many people on this stage tonight will end up leading happy, successful lives. However, I truly hope none of us ever make the mistake of taking all the credit for our success. Always remember that the things you were blessed with, things that you did not and could not have done anything to earn, will earn a great role in any future success. Talents that you inherited genetically, values that your parents and others instilled in you are not inherently yours. We are obligated to use these talents and values to develop into happy, successful, well-rounded adults. We owe it to all those who made sacrifices for us. Moreover, since we are not the sole architects of our success, we have the obligation to pay it forward. We should continue the spirit of generosity and individual importance that permeated our childhood and education in Terryville, in whatever corner of the world we find ourselves, even Thomaston. If we don't support charitable institutions, who will? If we don't start the next generation of scholarships, who will? However, this obligation to be generous, humble, and helpful does not only apply to the happy and successful. Even if we find ourselves in the most difficult circumstances, it is our responsibility to operate under the same principles. My father always says that when faced with a problem, you have three options. Number one, you can give up, do nothing, and be a victim. Number two, you can give in and become part of the problem. Or three, you can go on and be part of the solution. It seems to me that having been fortunate enough to have grown up in a community that loves us, we have a responsibility to choose number three and go on. It might be difficult, but I pray that even when times are toughest, we manage to treat everybody generously and caringly and to make sacrifices for others, as others have made sacrifices for us, even if it affects our own quality of life. Today, I'm filled with a deep sense of gratitude to many people. Thank you again to everyone who has supported me, and if I mentioned you all by name, we'd be here until July. Especially my mom, because before I left, she taped this little thing to my hat, and I lost a piece of tape, and she's gonna kill me when I get home. To my fellow graduates, good luck wherever you go, and never forget where you came from or who brought you there. Good luck, God bless, and thank you.
Very unique speeches, all three of them. But can we give them one more round of applause? It's a lot of work putting those together. Next, we will hear from Mr. Patrick Perugino, Chairman of the Board of Education.
You always make me walk the longest, Brian. I was talking to Brian prior to this meeting, and we talked about speeches. And as my board knows, a lot of people know, I'm not very long on words. This is my speech tonight. That is it. But first of all, I'd like to congratulate the seniors this year. And I know that Mr. Falcone will have more trophy cabinets in the budget next year for all the awards that this school has won. God bless you kids for whatever you did. The folks that are going in, for the students that are going into the armed services, I commend you. Thank you for protecting our country. For those going on to college, I'll tell you what I tell my son every time he calls me. Study hard. Study very hard. For you parents out there who are getting ready to pay your college bills, I have one more payment left, and that is in the 15th of July, and that's it. I'm all done. Thank the Lord. But now my little piece of advice to the seniors. My speech, Mr. Falcone. Don't go where the road leads. Rather go where there is no road and make a trail. Thank you and good luck, guys.
I probably opened about 47 fortune cookies looking for my speech, but I couldn't find it. But he finds it on a candy wrapper. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's with the greatest pleasure that I introduce Miss Eleanor Cruz, our Superintendent of Schools.
First of all, I want to congratulate this wonderful class of 2013, and I want to say that this is my first high school graduating class, and it is such an honor to have these young men and women be my first. So give them a big round of applause. I'm only going to say a few words to them because I'm not really here to give a speech, but to introduce our guest speaker. But I did want to say that there were sort of three little salient thoughts that I wanted to share with you. Love what you do. Have discipline for getting good at what you do. And be generous and give back. So having love for what you do means having the courage to follow your heart and intuition. Discipline means getting good at what you do. You have to practice, and that's important. And generosity, if you're generous, it'll add meaning to your life. So you pursue those with all the determination you possess. One day, the chance to realize your most spectacular dreams will come gently tap you on the shoulder and whisper, "Let's go." And you'll be ready. And that is how you'll shape a better future for all of us. So there's no pressure here. We're counting on you. So now, I am honored and pleased to introduce Sean Link, who is the valedictorian of the Terryville High School class of 2006. Sean was vice president of his class and president of the National Honor Society. He went on to complete his degree in history at Boston University with a focus on international relations. Sean was awarded the Warren Alt Prize for History while at BU and graduated summa cum laude. He was inducted into the Phi Beta Kappa Honor Society. He studied in Morocco and interned with U.S. Senator Chris Dodd. He spent a year teaching English in Korea after graduation. Sean now lives in Washington, D.C. and works for a nonprofit youth center that focuses on leadership development. He recently was a contestant on Jeopardy! It is my pleasure to introduce you to Sean Link.
Thank you for the introduction, Ms. Cruz. You had me blushing a little bit. Good evening, parents, teachers, administrators, members of the Board of Education, faculty, friends, and of course, the Terryville High School class of 2013. It is an absolute honor to have been invited to join you here in the Borkowski Family Auditorium of what, even 50 years from now, I will probably continue to call the new high school here in Terryville. You guys are all so fortunate to be up here. And that is exactly why it is the perfect time for you all to set sail. For many, if not all of you, this moment probably couldn't come soon enough. The chance to walk out these doors for the one last time, to leave Terryville High behind, and to embark upon a new, uncharted path. If I have one piece of advice for you all, it's to follow that path as far as you can. Travel, see, experience, discover. We shall not cease from exploration, and the end of all our exploring will be to arrive where we started and know the place for the first time. I can only wish those words were my own. In fact, they belong to the brilliant mind of T.S. Eliot, and they echo my first piece of advice to you. Explore. Explore the world around you as widely as you can. Outward, inward, up, down, and from side to side, and it will make your return here to the familiar so much more meaningful. After all, there are few better teachers than experience. No offense to all those present. This school and town are wonderful places to grow up, to learn, to live, and to thrive. But beware of settling too permanently into any place, habit, or state of mind. Instead, constantly strive to stretch outside of your comfort zone. Whether you test out the extremes of living without running water in Western toilets, or simply observe how life is different in a new town, such shifts in perspective can have a surprisingly positive effect on your character, helping you reach depths you never knew you could, and appreciate the little things that you used to take for granted. So join the Armed Forces or the Peace Corps, study at a distant college or on a semester abroad, volunteer or teach in a distant place, or just take a road trip with a few good friends. Any chance to switch up your routine and see something outside the ordinary has the power to change you, to encourage creative thinking, enhance your understanding, and make you the confident, informed global citizen that you need to be to compete in today's constantly expanding world. Fortunately, unlike the daring explorers of old, many of your discoveries won't even require leaving your chair. This leads to my second piece of advice. Take every advantage that today's technology can give you. From Twitter to Wikipedia to the thousands of blogs out there, the entire world's collected knowledge, along with a little bit of misleading opinion, is right at your fingertips. You can get up-to-the-minute updates on where you are, when you're supposed to be somewhere, how to get there, what's happening in Turkey, and what Kim Kardashian ate today for lunch. You have an unparalleled ability to stay in touch with each other, even now that you will no longer have regular lunch table conversations and hallway run-ins. At least twice now, a combination of phone and internet savvy and a little bit of luck have helped me when I was hopelessly lost in a strange land. So don't squander this incredible potential for learning and connection. But all the same, don't let that stereotypical millennial generation obsession with technology keep you from experiencing moments, places, and events firsthand. And never forget that your batteries always eventually run out. What happens when tragedy does strike when you're out exploring, as it invariably does? Take advice number 3 and relax. It is impossible to see clearly when you are blinded by panic and raw emotion. So take a few deep breaths, assess the options, and move forward. We all make stupid mistakes, like forgetting your passport in a hotel room in France or naming the wrong Barbra Streisand musical in Final Jeopardy. The key to success is a clear mind and a rapid recovery, because much like a round of Jeopardy, the rapid-fire challenges of life never stop flying at you. In fact, sometimes the biggest challenge is just showing up. The morning I was supposed to fly out to LA for my Jeopardy taping, my phone had died in the middle of the night, and my alarm never went off. I woke up just after 7 a.m. for my 8:40 flight, dashed out the door, onto the metro, through airport security, and onto my plane with mere seconds to spare. Life lesson: for occasions you can't miss, set 2 alarms. Indeed, you'll be much better prepared to handle what life tosses your way, even the unpredictable parts, if you keep yourself habitually organized. Always have a quick fix nearby, whether it's a backup phone charger, a clean pair of socks, or a map, physical and mental. We all feel lost sometimes, and being able to mentally map out a path to success, or at the very least, a route to safety, is a critical skill that you need to consciously build over time. Not only will it get you out of many a sticky situation, but it will also ultimately make you a better employee, a more accomplished individual, and a more dependable friend. Your map can be as simple as a to-do list, as visual as a chart or graph, or as complete as a full outline over your anticipated path ahead through life. Just make sure that it leads out to where you need to go, with some time built in for side journeys and speed bumps along the way. As much as we all strive for independence and self-sufficiency, you will come up against things that you cannot do alone. Through your travels, never be afraid to ask for help and collaboration from those whom you trust. And in a pinch, never totally dismiss the kindness of total strangers. My most recent trip was out to Bonnaroo a couple weeks ago, an annual Tennessee Music and Arts Festival. Think like Woodstock, but without the hippies and instead hipsters, and with free love replaced with corporate sponsorships and $5 slices of pizza. The music was amazing, but the journey there was a bit of a challenge, to say the least, capped off by my discovery at the sold-out festival gates that my ticket had been resold rather than left at will call. It was only by the grace and kindness shown to me by 2 local Tennessee strangers that I was able to get in at all. They knew of a friend who had an extra and moved heaven and earth to get me both the ticket and a discount, as well as a ride back to the entrance. The moral here is to never give up hope. Truly good people will go the extra mile for you when you need them most, as I'm sure you've seen countless times in your high school experience. And you should never pass up the chance to do the same for someone else. One final, and perhaps most important, Bonnaroo lesson for my fellow kangaroos: there is no wrong way to dance. So don't ever let embarrassment, shame, or nerves hold you back. Your individuality is the best thing that you have going for you. And don't ever let anyone tell you otherwise. In that same vein, don't be judgmental of others for being different than you. Instead, maintain an open mind when encountering new people, new ideas, and new ways of doing things. Meeting unique and diverse individuals is the best part of exploration, and keeping an open attitude will make you a much more positive and magnetic person to be around. So throughout your life journey, though you should always assess the risks first, I encourage you, class of 2013, to never pass up a new and challenging opportunity. whether it's a trip to a new continent, a game show audition, or just a new ice cream flavor. Your experiences define who you are, so soak up as many as you can. Most opportunities will only come along once, and even then, only if you're lucky. So don't miss out on something great because you felt scared or ill-prepared, and do everything in your power to reach your destination. Because with the will and the resources at your command, you have that power. Now go out and do it. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Amy Radke, the Assistant Principal at Terryville High School. Thank you. It is my great pleasure that I welcome you to enjoy a musical selection from the THS Chorus of 2013.
Terryville, my Terryville, our alma mater true. To thee we sing thy praise day after day. We'll keep thy honor dear, safely from every fear. Thy name we will revere when far away. Terryville, my Terryville, our alma mater true. To thee we sing thy praise day after day. We'll keep thy honor dear, safely from every fear. Thy name we will revere when far away.
Eight long but memorable years ago, we were together for the first time as a class at Nature's Classroom. We sang this song. Now, on the last day we will be together as a class, we would like to sing it again.
We would love if you joined us.
Another turning point, a fork stuck in the road. Time grabs you by the wrist, directs you where to go. So make the best of this test and
It is now my honor to begin the presentation of diplomas ceremony for the class of 2013. Peter Hopko. Caitlin Jean Sikorsky. Angel Marie Katowitz. Amanda Taylor Berman. Jamie Lee Bridge. Cassandra Olivia Brown. Daniel Jean Bellino. Melissa May Gualtieri. Carl Brian Lassie. Jeffrey Thomas Levins. Devin Andrew Oakes. Haley Ray Ouellette. Sarah Elizabeth Smith. Thomas James Valensis. Joseph Francis Belmay, Jr. Katie Elaine Duncan. Alex John Kleinschmidt. Douglas Michael Switzer, Jr. Sage Marie Albino. Stephen Worthington Alvarez. Shelby Catherine Armington. Kylie Ann Belarjan. Brian Arlen Ball. George Joseph Bennett. Chelsea Elaine Bordeaux. Danielle Lynn Bruno. John Michael Calabrese. Emily Victoria Campbell. Antoine Raphael Charest. Michael Anthony Civarella. Shayla Marie Cochiola. Melanie Zoraida Colon. John Louis Cavello, Jr. Gabriel Galileo D'Antonio. Anthony Mikhail DeMarco. Jeremy Owen Doobie. Anna Victoria DuPaul. David Matthew Eckert. Joseph Elias. Avery James Ellegard. Scott Peter Erickson. Gerard Pasquale Falco. John Arthur Festa, Jr. Richard Allen Geddes, Jr. Jonah Talmadge Giblin. Brandon James Gracie. Tanner John Greenlaw. Sean William Hall. Ashley Elaine Hobson. Jacob Paul Hoyt. Christina Marie Hull. Timothy Patrick King. Elizabeth Bernice Clope. Caitlin Sarah Kozakowski. Melody Ann Kramars. Brooke Renee Lagasse. Alexa Rose Lestage. Samuel Paul Listro. Joseph James Lazat. Holly Victoria Luxick. Kelsey Ann Marconis. Brooke Mary Ellen Morena. Courtney Rose Marino. Jake Walter Mariotti. Brianna Martinez. Kayla Mariana Mastracchio. Christopher Ryan May. Kevin Andrew McDermott. Elizabeth Rose Miskin. Kimberly Virginia Monks. Michaela Noel Monteroso. Timothy Joseph Morissette. Brianna Alexis Malthrop. Andrew David Mulcahy. Isabel Katerina Morel. Nicole Ann Nathan. Alexander David Noel. Matthew John Onofrio. Eric Christopher Orr. Jenna Marie Ouellette. Samantha Lynn Taylor Peacott. Vincent Vincenzo Pellegrino. Jacob Andrew Prey. Joshua Christopher Raboyne. Aaron Kelly Renner. Sabrina Marie Reynolds. Samantha Ruth Reynolds. Niran Rahimi. Benjamin Emil Dennis Russo. Shakiba Sassani. Caitlin Savage. Ryan Robert Schultz. Catherine Lauren Skempris. Carl Richard Smith, Jr. Timothy Nathan Thomas. David Joseph Thorne. Arthur Trent III. Emily Megan Trudeau. Amanda Marie Wakeman. Zachary Robert Way. Erica Marie Zalewski. Kennedy Marie Zuzik. I am pleased to present to all of you the distinguished graduating class of 2013.
the salutatorian.
So before we go out here,